If you're out there shopping for a new truck or even a slightly used truck, I'm going to guess reliability is at the top of your list. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I started this channel back in 2016. I've made talking about reliability a key cornerstone of this channel. So I got the study from iSeeCars.com I want to share with you guys that talks about reliability in terms of life expectancy for years, cost per year to operate a truck, and it really gives some good data for those out there to be an informed consumer when you're out there shopping for new trucks, or even, like I said, slightly used trucks. So the story is over at pickuptrucktalk.com. I just finished getting it all put together. And I have some additional data for you as well from the iSeeCars.com website. So let's scroll this down. And if you don't know, iSeeCars.com is a cars.com kind of equivalent of Car Gurus or wherever you go to. And they basically they have listings for new vehicles and used vehicles. What they do differently, and what I like about their studies, is they look at their listings in a unique way. For example, they analyze the prices of over 3.8 million new cars sold through IC Cars from July through December of 2024, and the odometer readings, this is the fascinating part, the odometer readings of over 368 million used cars from its longest lasting car study. So it takes these two data sources, new vehicles pricing, new truck pricing, and then odometer readings from its 368 million used cars. And so it puts these together. So it's a pretty interesting study. I think this is kind of interesting data to have, especially in today's world of being an informed consumer. The average list price of each model was compared to its expected lifespan in years to calculate the list price per year. So they looked at 368 million new trucks and used cars as well. And they put together a list of saying, hey, if we put all these together, here's our average lifespan of these new vehicles, which I thought was fascinating. And then they look at the list price per year. Low volume vehicles, sports cars, vehicles on production were excluded from further analysis. So here's our list. They call it the best new size full trucks for the money. So number one is the Toyota Tundra. Average list price is $61,794. Expect to last 15.6 years. 15.6 years. That's pretty good. I think so. I'll give you a quote here in a minute from Carl Bauer, the IC Cars executive analyst. He said the same thing I've been saying for a while on this channel. $4,000 per year's average to operate it. Nissan Titans number 2, $58,080 to purchase for new one. 13.1 expected lifespan per year, and about $4,500 to operate per year. Chevy Silverado is third in the list, $57,872. 12.5 years expected lifespan. Interesting. It's right above the average by 0.5 though, as far as the full-size truck average. $4,637 price per year. Next, you have the GMC Sierra, 12.7 expected lifespan. Starting price $65,909. That really reflects that most people buy a GMC Sierra, they're buying the higher trim level, so that makes sense to me. $5,178 price per year. So what I'm trying to say with the Sierra is most people will buy the Denali version of that truck. The Ford F-50 is $59,584, which is a little bit below full-size truck average. Expected lifespan 11 years. So quite a bit, almost a full year below the average. $5,398 per year. The Ram 1500 comes in last. Average list price is $62,080. That's just slightly below average full-size truck as far as expected lifespan, 11.4 years. And price per year is $5,468 operated truck. I'd imagine the Ram 1500 numbers really come down to how the fact was that truck was a very good truck for many years. Transmission issues and Hemi ticks and things. And so I anticipate that to be lower in the study such as this, looking at all the used trucks. Tundra was a really good truck, except for the 2022 recall we have going on, and things have changed the third generation, but it had been a really solid truck. Nissan Titan there as well. Silverado, Sierra, Ford F-150, a lot more volume players, but I don't see many changes. They changed DFM to AFM in 2019 for this Chevy and the Ford, or excuse me, the Chevy and GMC. Ford has adopted some deactivation for the 5-liter V8. So they've made some changes to the powertrain, but not big as much as the Toyota Tundra did in 2022 by dropping the V8, and as much as Ram has done by dropping the transmission. It was a terrible transmission, swapping out the Hemi for Hurricane and making some big changes there too. So I'll be interested to see what this report looks like in 3 years and 4 years and 5 years as those other new models start aging out with the miles. So interesting part with I'm going to get to two quotes. Carl Bauer's got a quote that says, full-size pickup trucks remain a popular segment with enough demand to drive their average new price to over $60,000 and their average price per year to over $5,000. These vehicles cover a lot of bases with near luxury interiors and higher trim levels, room for the entire family, make them extremely versatile as well as durable. He also has a quote here, which is interesting. This is from their longest lasting study, where they talked about how many vehicles can get over 250,000 miles. And he said the average vehicle has an 8.6% chance of lasting 250,000 miles or more, okay, according to the study. Now, keep in mind, this isn't just like reliability issues. You hit a deer, you get in an accident. I mean, those things factor in as well. So there's a lot to be in that thought. But I think what's interesting is quote here: modern vehicles are getting more durable, with 30 models offering a 12 and 36% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. Many customers still consider a car's usable lifespan to end at 100,000 miles. That's the way it was when I was growing up in the 1990s. But our latest, longest lasting study confirms that even 200,000 miles isn't the end of the line for many cars. So they list all these cars and stuff down below. Toyota's dominate that list as far as reliability. What's interesting is I went ahead and I went to their website and I put in a Denver, Colorado zip code because I live in Western Nebraska and the numbers be skewed. I wanted to use a major city. Denver's a pretty major city. And so I put in 4 different 50s any year, but mileage had to be from 200,000 to max. And it's pretty interesting. So this 2011, this 2013, I actually clicked on. It is the EcoBoost engine. It's a turbocharged engine, 223,000 miles. This XLT, 256,000, 208,000, 230,000, 213,000, 257, 246, 244. I mean, there's a lot. And these trucks don't look like bad shape. I also referenced some of these numbers on a Carfax report that I talked about last live stream we did on Monday night. And when I looked at the Carfax reports, these are EcoBoost engines. They're turbocharged engines that have not had turbos replaced. So we have a collection of probably some 3.3 liter V6 natural aspirated engines, the 5 liter V8, and then we have the EcoBoost engines in the mix of these numbers. Now, looking at Chevy Silverado, I found numerous ones: 285,000, 249,000, 250,000, 225, 220,000, 240,000, 210,000, which this has got to be wrong because they said a 2020 for 210,000 was $21,000. Just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me, but that's the listing that they put out there. Yeah. The 5.3 liter V8, 210,000 miles. That's pretty incredible for 2020. That's a lot of driving. And then I looked at the GMC Sierra. And again, same story, 200,000 miles, 200,000 miles, 200,000 miles, 200. And then the same idea with the Ram 1500, the one that people just think is the most unreliable truck out there. We have more places, more trucks getting 200,000 miles on these things. 218,000, 229, 218, 203,000. Just goes on and on and on. And then Toyota Tundra. This is the 20, you can see 2011, 28, 18s. I don't know if I saw any newer ones in that one. 2017, 214. I did do a study or a video a couple days ago about a truck that reached 200,000 miles, and that was a Gen 3. Looking at the Nissan Titan, again, same story, 200,000 miles. And this was not a really big vehicle as far as volume. And so seeing these listings, that's incredible because the Nissan Titan wasn't built at the same volume scale as their competitors at GM, Ford, and Ram. So there you go. That's some pretty interesting data I found from IC Cars, longest lasting study, and as well as clicking through the listings. I have to agree with Carl in that when I was growing up, 100,000 miles was the de facto lifespan of vehicles. And now I hear from you guys in the comments all the time where it's got to be 200,000, Tim, or it's got to be 300,000, or some people were saying it's got to be 400,000 or something for these trucks to prove to people that trucks are being more reliable. So I think the data shows it pretty clearly. I'm sure you guys have opinions. That's why I created a keyboard. You're going to fire them off down below. I'll read your comments. Let me know what's going on with that. But again, I think this information is critical for those out there shopping to have an idea of what they're going to get for their dollar. Yes, trucks have gotten more expensive. Yes, expectations have changed. What we're seeing more now from studies like this and studies like JD Power and Consumer Reports is more about reliability in terms of technology, infotainment screens, all that kind of piece. Not so much powertrains as much as we used to. So things have definitely changed in the truck world. So again, here comes down below. Curious what you guys' thoughts on this. I'll put a link to the article in the description and in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.